Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. This video brought to you by Starbucks. Hello,
it's a reusable cup.
What's up, guys? My name is Dave with Amari Productions, and today we have Jamie Wolfer with JW Coordination, and we are digging deep into real timelines to show you where the choke points are, where to build in padding, and basically how these timelines are gonna fail.
And to see if Dave can put his money where his mouth is, Mr. I could tell who wrote this timeline. Thank you very much.
I should show you what I said a few months ago. When you send me a timeline, you don't have to tell me if you put it together. I know.
Like, give me 60 seconds and I'll tell you all the choke points.
Give me 60 seconds with it, just to scan it real quick. I can tell you right away, like, here's a choke point.
I think he specifically said he would know if a bride or groom wrote it. He would know if a
venue coordinator put it together, versus I know when a photographer put it together, a DJ put it together, or a planner put it together.
So I've pulled together 4 different timelines to see if a homeboy can put his money where his mouth is.
Okay. Timeline number 1. So the first timeline I'm seeing here, I'll put this up on the screen. I'm seeing a screenshot right away. This is the first thing I'm seeing. This whole thing is like 12 rows long, like 12 rows, and that is terrifying. If you send me a timeline and the whole thing is 12 rows, I'm a little scared. But let's go into it. Okay, so what time's our ceremony? 5:30. So we're getting ready till 3:30. So these are the first like 2 keyframes I'm looking at. What time is getting ready done, or are you putting your dress on, and what time is the ceremony? What's that window? So it's 3:30 to 5:30. That's respectable. For a first look, I want to see at least 2 hours in the comfort zone. Like an hour and a half we could probably make work. I want to see 2 hours. So 2 hours is good there. 3 hours, great. Ceremony is 5:30 to 6. Reception 7 to 11. Okay, so right away I need to respond back to this person and say, great that your reception is happening from 7 to 11. What is happening from 7 to 11? When is grand entrance? When is first dance? When are toasts? Are you doing parent dances? Are you doing a bouquet toss? Are you doing a garter toss? You have cake cutting in there? No, are you doing cake cutting? You may not be doing some of those things, but are you not doing any of them? So I'm gonna say, in terms of who made this timeline, this has to be the bride. Final answer. It could be a photographer because they have photos listed out but not reception events, but again I feel like a photographer would... I'm gonna say photographer, final answer. Photographer, final answer.
Oh, you were wrong.
What was it?
It's a bride.
Oh, it was a bride. I should have stuck with my gut. So, but yeah, I think that's a great example for anyone that's working right now on planning their own wedding and starting to put together their timeline. If you saw that and you're like, hey, that looks kind of like my timeline, and then we immediately just started tearing it apart. Now might be a time to double back to some of Jamie's videos, maybe like some wedding websites, and start to grow that timeline a little bit, which I'm sure we're gonna see here coming up. So timeline number 2. Hey guys, gonna jump in here real quick. Jamie and I kind of got lost in the conversation and forgot to do some of the very basic things that we should do on the YouTube. So hey, do us a favor, if you're enjoying this video, hit the like button. Do us a favor, that does her 0 favors. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Click that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you know every time that we post. Timeline number 2. So this clearly came from a coordinator or a planner because it is very well fleshed out. I'm seeing rehearsal dinners on here, wedding day, I'm seeing things broken down. I'm also seeing, this is the dead giveaway that it is a planner. I'm seeing when all the vendors arrive, and this might even be from Jamie herself, based on the footer there. That looks like maybe an old Jamie font. I'm not sure. And if I'm wrong, I'll just cut this out and make it seem like I never even thought that. Let's look through the choke points. So, getting there at 12. Photos happening at 1:30. I'm assuming your dress is going on around 1. That's totally great. Ceremony begins at 4:05, so I'm going to assume invite time is 4. Photos were at 1:30, 2:30, so that's plenty of time. There's no first look, and it's about 2.5 hours from when the bride is ready till the ceremony. That would be my one concern is we talk a lot about needing to put padding into your timeline, there is a scenario where you overdo it, and then the only issue with overdoing is you might just need to book some extra time with your vendors if you haven't already. The ceremony is fully listed out exactly what's happening. That is very uncommon, but I love it. Because I love it, because when I'm going to mic, what we normally do, what all of our teams do, is when we go to mic up the officiant, we'll ask him for a rundown of events and then just try to memorize it so that we know, just generally speaking, what's coming after what. Because if you're doing a sand ceremony or if you're giving flowers to your parents, these are things where we need to be in different places than we normally would be. So this is fantastic that we can see all this ahead of time. Love it. Grand entrance, first dance, and a blessing. Toast after dinner, very common. We have the number of toasts listed out, which is fantastic. Here's my choke point on this timeline. Money dance / anniversary dance is scheduled for 10 minutes. Generally, money dances go for 20 to 30 minutes. It just takes a while to get it started, and then once it does get started, like a line will build behind each couple. If you're not familiar with what a money dance is, that's totally fine. They're not super common. You can look it up, but if you're having a money dance, I would budget a little bit more time than you think you need. And that actually can be a choke point for us in some weddings. In this wedding, it's great because you're doing open dancing first and then a money dance. If the first thing you're doing is a money dance and you only have us there for 30 minutes of dancing total, there have been a number of weddings where the only dancing footage we get is the money dance, and obviously the energy in that type of event is very different than a full-blown party open dancing. Oh, I didn't look, so we didn't have a first look, so I want to see how long we have for photos. Ceremony ends at 4:35. Grand entrance at 6:15. So that's fine. For not having a first look, that's everything we could ask for in terms of, realistically ask for in terms of how much time we could have after the ceremony. I would give this timeline a 10 out of 10. This is everything we need. I'm good to go. Whose is it?
Wow. Your guess is planner, right?
Yeah, 100%.
This is the first timeline I ever wrote.
Did I not say it's a Jamie timeline? I totally just took a stab in the dark. I've never analyzed Jamie's timeline, but I knew it was a planner 100%. That was the first one you ever wrote?
That was the first one I ever wrote.
You did a pretty damn good job.
Thank you very much. Wow, I'm feeling really good about my stuff.
Yeah, that was very thorough. That was very well done. If you are planning your own wedding and you're watching a video like this and you're like, okay, clearly I need help, but booking a planner is not in the budget, do I have a product for you?
That was the best segue ever. I'm assuming you're talking about the master plan, otherwise I'm about to look like a giant buffoon. But basically what we wanted to make sure you guys know is that I have an online wedding planning course that was designed for you to plan your wedding from your couch. There's a whole entire lecture module devoted to putting together your own timeline, and all you have to do is type in 5 or 6 numbers and it'll generate your timeline for you. It's glorious. So if you're looking at some of these timelines and you're like, mine's on the leaner end of things, mine's the one that Dave might have roasted a teeny tiny bit. No, not with the spreadsheet from the master plan. So just a great option for you guys if you're interested.
Okay, so the first time Jamie and I filmed together, we filmed for approximately 30 minutes after the camera had stopped recording.
Yep.
This time, I've gotten a little bit wiser, not much. The camera still stopped recording, but this time I caught it right away. But it was also just as rookie of a mistake. I forgot to clear space on my memory card before we started filming this. Hire a pro. Okay, number 3. Okay, so you're already laughing.
Yep.
So now I'm on edge. But let's go. Okay, so again, I'm seeing a timeline that in total is maybe 20 lines and 500 characters. That makes me nervous. Getting ready, 10:30 to 12:40. Girls photos, 12 to 45. Okay, I'm terrified. I am 5 lines in, and I am terrified.
So good.
The ceremony is set to start at 1:30. Guests arrive at 1. So if we want to shoot your ceremony site, we need to be there no later than 12:30 to shoot it before guests arrive. And then if your ceremony is at 1:30, we need to be setting up for your ceremony no later than 1 o'clock. Meaning, to get the details and to set up, we need about an hour. So we need to be at your ceremony site at 12:30. You are still getting ready until 12:45, and then you're doing girls' photos. So I can already tell you right away, 100%, we are not going to be a part of the girls' photos. That will be for your photographer. I'm going to guess, without even reading to the end, that this day is going to be a very short day. So let's see, 10:30 is when getting ready starts, and there's sparklers. So there's literally not even 8 hours, even if we got there right when getting ready starts. Yeah, this is a very short day. So So we would get there right at 10:30 when getting ready starts. We might even get there, we might even do, if it's sparkler send off is at 6, we might even do 10 to 6 so that we can get there before you guys and shoot your general, like your venue established, assuming that this must all be at one place. There's no time to drive anywhere. So that's how we would mitigate. This is in real time. I'm showing you how we would mitigate some of these choke points, some of these issues. We would get there at 10. We would pre-shoot the venue at large. Obviously your ceremony site's not going to be set up. We have to somehow split up during getting ready so that we can get some shots of your ceremony site set up. Okay, ceremony at 1:30. Begin food at 2. Grand entrance at 2:30. So this is a backyard wedding. This has to be a backyard wedding. Normally I wouldn't have to guess this looking at a timeline. I would have the address and like where this is happening, but I'm just gonna tell you this is a backyard wedding because there's also no cocktail hour. The ceremony's over, we're going straight to food. Grand entrance looks like it's about a half an hour after the ceremony ends. I'm not confident that open dancing is gonna happen at this wedding just based off the timeline. So for this timeline, I would definitely talk to the team about, hey, there might not be that kind of like finale moment, a finale scene of the day of everybody you know, partying. So be very thoughtful as you go to film the second half of the day to make sure that we are telling that story well. So yeah, I'm gonna say this is either like a bride or a photographer. I'm gonna guess bride though, and it's a backyard wedding.
This is a self-proclaimed wedding coordinator. So I think it's really important to note there's like a very clear difference between a coordinator or planner that's been doing this for a while and someone who hasn't, because even though like clearly my first timeline was apparently pretty bomb, I thought you were gonna tear it apart, but that felt really nice. There was a lot more specificity to it that came in handy for a vendor like Dave to look at that and be like, great, I have the questions in my brain, this paper has the answers. I look at this, Dave looks at this, and we both go, okay, I've got like 42 follow-up questions because
yes, yeah,
which is fine, this is a great framework, but
to be clear, if you send me that timeline, you and I are going to be chatting a lot in the final days before your wedding to really iron that timeline out.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Timeline 4. This one is 2 pages. Photographer arrives at 11. First look at 12. Ceremony at 2. This is generally how I'll read these longer timelines. I'm just looking for those big like waypoints. So 11, 12 for first look, 2 for ceremony, 3:35 for grand entrance. That's a teeny bit tight, but manageable. 5:45 sunset photos. Thank you for putting that on the timeline. So first look is going to be at 12. So we're going to be very bright and sunny. This is a great tip for managing risk on your wedding day. Some photographers and videographers, when they have first look, when the sun is so harsh like that at 12, and they have time set aside for photos later, all of us are thinking, well great, the photos that we're gonna wanna get are gonna be the ones later when the light is better. That doesn't mean you don't get them after your first look, because you never know what's going to happen. I have had countless weddings where on the timeline, we perfectly carve out beautiful sunset photos, but then everything runs a little bit late, and by the time the ceremony ends, it's dark. So, if we are the video there and we're working with a photographer and the photographer says, hey, we've got time set aside for photos later, I'm just gonna do bridal party photos now and family. What I would gently suggest back would say, awesome, can we just do like 5 minutes of couples portraits just for insurance? Because yeah, that exact situation has played out where we got 5 minutes of insurance photos, and then that ended up being the only couples portraits that we got.
Yeah, I love that you're calling them insurance photos.
So from grand entrance to toast is almost an hour, so that's great. So you have plenty of time. We have plenty of time as your vendors to sit down and eat with you guys. That's awesome. Toast in the first, so you have 25 minutes scheduled for toast. That should be enough time, assuming you're just having like 3 or 4 toasts. If you're having like 6 or 7, you're probably gonna need more time. You've got about 40 minutes to do open dancing before you dip out for sunset photos, and then another couple hours of dancing after that. So this would be a great this is another perfect example of a great 8-hour day. We would be there from 11 to 7. You could obviously add 1 extra hour if you want to do like a sparkler exit at 8, but you don't need to. We'll get plenty of footage in that 11 to 7 window. we could even realistically be done at 6. So if we felt like we needed to get there a little bit earlier to getting ready, then I would suggest back to like, hey, why don't we meet you at the hotel at 10 so we can get everything we need to get in terms of your details, and we'll stay till 6, and then we'll still have everything we need and be fine, be good to go. So yeah, because we didn't have a venue coordinator, I'll guess venue coordinator, but that could have been a regular coordinator too. It was perfectly fine, well put together. I have no complaints.
Oh, well, this is also mine. From last year.
I figured.
Yeah.
Is this like your most recent or something?
Yeah, it's from last year.
Yeah, that was great.
But you can tell that they got significantly shorter in comparison. I felt like it would be actually a really good merit to show like what some of my first ones look like and what it looks like now. Simply because you can tell I just cut away a whole bunch of stuff. It is cool to know that you found the names and the orders helpful, but it got to be so difficult to track down what exactly is happening in the ceremony when. So I'm like, yeah, we gave up on that a long time ago.
I can tell you that it's like 2% of timelines will actually have that written out into the timeline. So that's why in that first one, when I saw it, I was like, oh wow, what a luxury. All right guys, it has been great having Jamie with us. If you are working on a timeline, or if you have a timeline and you want to send it for me to roast it, analyze it, let me know in the comments below. And then Jamie, you can find on...
Hey, so my channel is my name, Jamie Wolfer. Hold on. I'm fine, okay?
Thanks again so much for watching, guys. My name is Dave with Amari Productions. Today we had Jamie with JW Coordination. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Oh, okay. You just let me know when you're ready to film the intro.
Oh, we gotta do the intro still?
Yes, it's been an hour.
What's up, guys? My name is Dave with Amari Productions, and today we've got Jamie with JW Coordination, not ready to film, and we're doing it anyway.